Hi everyone, how's everyone doing today? Just want to say thank you for watching, and today I wanted to talk about voter fraud. You know, the big steal, the crime that everyone just can't stop talking about. And before I get into the specifications behind it, I wanted to kind of illustrate a certain scenario whereby every week you and your friends and a bunch of other people get together at this bar where they bet on some sports event, some game. It doesn't matter what type of sport, it's just they bet on a game. You know, you put a certain amount of money down and, well, you naturally hope you win. And sometimes you do, you make a few bucks, great, congratulations. And sometimes you do, you lose and you just say, better luck next time. But within that group, you have one individual where every time he loses, no matter what, he's always like, oh, it's not fair, they cheated, you know, this game, it was rigged. Well, the scoreboard says otherwise. Doesn't matter. It was rigged. It's cheated. No good. I shouldn't have, you know, I want my money back, this and that. However, every time he wins a game, oh, lo and behold, you know, fair and square, great. Give me the money, please. You know, I think after a while, you know, you would start looking at this guy where you'd think like, are you out of your damn mind? And you know what? We don't want you betting with us anymore because, you know, you're not very sportsmanlike, you know. You can't take a loss. You can't just be a man about it. You know, you always got to be this whining, sore loser, and that's not the type of people we want in our group. I think it's safe to say if you had somebody that kept doing that, after a while, you would probably distance yourself from them as well. So why is this whole voter fraud thing such a big thing to just not accept, or shall I say, accept it for what it is? It is a big lie. And before you start putting all your comments down about how no, the 2020 election was rigged, my general answer is really very simple. Prove it. Show me the evidence. Show me the proof. I mean, real solid evidence. Okay? And some of you might throw around saying, oh, you saw the movie 2,000 Mules. Clips of it. It's been watched by other people. It's been debunked. Dinesh D'Souza is a criminal. He is a liar. He is a right-winger, and not a very fair one, and he is a convicted felon. Okay, so this guy did not make this movie in any good faith. He made it as a way just to, you know, add fuel to the fire, to keep perpetuating this bogus lie. All right, it's been through all the court cases, and not for nothing, you look at the past, back in 2016, you see the same exact patterns, and you're still seeing it today. Case in point, all right? Our infamous Donald Trump, who started this whole mess to begin with. 2016, even before the results were tallied, was like, oh, it's going to be rigged. If I lose, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be stolen. They're going to rig the election, yada, 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 whatever. It's bullshit, okay? Why? Because when he won the election, or he said, oh, it doesn't matter because we won, except for the popular vote, which he still whines about to this day. Get over it. That's what I say, not to him. He's just a whiny little child and one of the biggest sore losers on the planet. Bottom line is, to all the voters, you know, who voted for him, hope to win, guess what? Better luck next time. It happens. I voted for people in the past, candidates in the past, and they've lost too. Do I go screaming foul or anything like this? No, it's discouraging, it sucks, but it happens. You gotta move on. But he doesn't do stuff like that, and that is all part of his strategy. That is the thing people don't, namely Trump supporters, don't want to accept, or they just clearly don't see it, either because they're enriched in this cult or they're more comfortable just screaming cheating every time they don't get their way in an election. And we're seeing it now with other members on the right in the primaries that lost. Oh, they cheated the election and everything and all this other stuff. I should have won. Maybe think about it like this. You didn't win because, one, if this was your first time, then you didn't do a good enough campaign, or your opponent did it a little better, or maybe you lied, which we're also seeing a lot of, or maybe you just said a lot of things that didn't convince the voters and they just said, no, we'd rather have the other person. Well, instead of learning from your mistakes, stop whining about it and don't ask yourself, ponder over the fact that you lost. You should be asking yourself, why did you lose? What could you have done to win? And if you're somebody like Donald Trump who ran for re-election, instead of being a little girl about it and whining voter fraud, maybe you should just accept the simple fact that you were a lousy president, you didn't do a good job, you lost both the electoral as well as the popular vote, that's twice, And the majority of just people said, we don't want you anymore, you're not a good president, you're a lousy leader, in fact, you're one of the worst presidents we ever seen, you're out. And in the past, we've seen him do that before, where his strategy is like early on, while the votes are being tallied, he'll make the claim, oh, I've already won this, if you count all the, the valid votes, then you'll see that I won. But, what, did he count them himself? I don't think so, okay? So that's another lie. And, again, as soon as you lose, just cry foul. Assuming that's even the case, what is it? That voter fraud is perfectly okay if you win, but if you lose the election, then it's something that should be investigated? It has been investigated. There have been recounts, there have been all the court cases. Your good old cyber ninjas, they couldn't find anything either. So you need to guys just get over yourselves and move on. But again, that's putting democracy in our question, and that's the biggest threat about it. And the more Republicans just start turning away from that, the more you're gonna, fulfill our democracy. Who really wants a pathological liar that does not believe in democracy? You're not comfortable with democracy? Have you ever considered finding out what it's like living in a dictatorship, or a country that is anti-democratic, like Russia or North Korea? You're gonna find the grass is not so greener on the other side, okay? But, that's where the whole problem with the corruption comes in, and you people seriously need to let it go. And, I realize people who are enriched in the cult, this isn't going to make a difference. So, it's the other voters who are uncertain, who have doubts about the election, don't. Because there is no voter fraud. In the past, have they found some cases? Yeah, a very, 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 very small percentage, and not enough to sway the election. In some of the recounts, back in 2020, they found out that Biden actually got more votes than Trump, that he won by a greater margin. How do you like that? Ron DeSantis, he did his little stunt, and he only found like 20 people that allegedly committed voter fraud. Gee, big numbers. The biggest issue is, and this message is for the Trump supporters, is that, yeah, it was the crime of the century, but not the voter fraud. That's a lie. Get over it. You can't prove it, okay? I'd love to see someone try and bring me some solid evidence, but they can't because there is none. The real crime is the fact that you guys continue to donate to him, as it's some kind of stop the steal campaign. He's not campaigning. He's going through lawsuits and criminal investigations, and he's using that money to pay off his legal fees. Plain and simple. So, in the end, it's you, the voters, that he's taking advantage of. You think I'm wrong? Well, then why are you donating money to him? I thought he was this self-made billionaire. Well, if he's got so many billions to his name, he shouldn't have to be accepting donations now, will you? You probably never thought about that. Clearly, some of you just don't care. But you can't say you don't know. And in the end, the real victim of this is not Donald Trump. It's you. It's the voters. It's the people that donate to him and that continue to be misled, that continue to question our democracy. So, all I can say is just get out and vote and, do what you can to make the difference. Because in the end, these Republicans who are always screaming foul, who don't believe in democracy, they are looking for a dictatorship. And one thing dictators all have in common is that they are not in support of the people. They are only in support of their own agenda. And we're seeing the proof time and time again with Donald Trump's actions currently today. 2 years later, and he's still telling the same bogus lie without any evidence, without any proof, just so he can get more money out of you. So, take a stand. If you're going to support him, fine, support him. At the very least, I would at least stop donating to him, And just to put it other in perspective, the big lie, January 6th, got a bunch of other people to go out and storm the Capitol. Well, how did that turn out for them, the ones that got arrested? They stormed the Capitol based on a lie that they can't prove, and now they're doing jail time for it, while your dear Donald is resting comfortably in Mar-a-Lago. You didn't get a pardon, he didn't give you any money to pay for bail or your legal fees, and one woman that got killed, I bet you didn't give a dime for her funeral expenses. So, like I said, in the end, the person that's being victimized is the Trump supporters. Not me. I don't buy into any of that. And if any other politician did that, I would say, just like I did with Donald Trump, this guy's not good enough. He's not a good president. He's not a leader. He is a grifter, and I don't want him anywhere near the White House. If you know it's good for you, you'll do the same thing come the midterms. Start voting these people out. If he runs in 2024, vote against him, okay? Because in the end, it's not going to do anything for you. Anyway, I hope you understand. Thank you for watching.